Hey guys, welcome to Podcast Fandom Premium. I'm your host, Nina.
And I'm Kaylee.
And we are back to discuss Sweet Home. We took a break for about 2 weeks because we moved and there was a lot of shit going on and other shows started. But we are back and we're going to be talking about episodes 5 and 6. Right? Okay. So, I am so upset that we stayed away from this show for as long as we did because I really do love it and I enjoy it. And I did that thing where we watched it and then we didn't record, and we went so long without recording that I could not record until I watched it again. Otherwise, we would, yeah. So that was another reason that it was delayed more than I had anticipated, because I didn't think it would take us so long to get back into it. But anyway, yeah, and that it's disappointing because I feel like you kind of fuck up the momentum, I guess, of enjoyment, you know? And when we got back into it to take notes for the podcast, I was like, oh my God, this is so good. I love this so much. And I still don't know what the fuck is going on. Mm-hmm. That's another reason I'm kicking myself, because I'm like, the faster we go back to it, the faster I can learn what the hell's going on. Although, I still don't know if this is supposed to be a one and done thing or what. So I'm curious to see how it ends. Why do you say probably? Because the type of story.
Well, no, because I think that's how this creator does things. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, from the stories that they did that I know. Like, I think they're all kind of short. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if they plan, like... I think this is the only one that has, like, a show for it. So I don't know. Yeah. Like, they could do a second season. They could split up to what's in the webtoon. Did
you read the Shotgun Boy that dropped the other day?
No, I'm, like, 2-3 chapters behind Shotgun Boy.
But the chapters, like, that's another reason that I don't, like, I feel, well, I don't know. I have to look and see. I'm wondering how those issues or episodes in webtoons, they feel shorter than a typical comic book.
For some of them, yeah. It depends on what you're reading.
So it's like that one, Everything is Fine. That felt like it was like 4 swipes.
Yeah, the
story was over.
That's like a very simple one.
Yeah, it's like boom, boom, this happens in the next thing. So like, I feel like for me, I would prefer it if you dropped when I go to read, because, you know, when I settle down to read, it's very rarely do I want to just spend like, you know, 5 minutes and I'm out. Like, you want to read, you know, so it's probably good.
Shotgun Boy's chapters are pretty long. Definitely not long enough to make you wait a week, but they're decently long. They're longer than Everything is Fine.
And they come out every week, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, you ready to talk about it? Because a lot happened.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you don't remember a lot.
I was going to say, if you let me peek at your notes.
That's fine. So, at the beginning of episode 5, we learned that Ballerina Bro, whose name I might have in my notes later, but right now I don't, he gets Hyun-su and tells him that he has to do all the dangerous work. Right? Which is basically anytime anybody needs to go exploring in any parts of this apartment building for anything, they send him.
He's a chore boy.
And he's like locked
errand
up
boy.
Until he's needed.
Yeah.
So it's not even like he's like a part of the group necessarily. And I hated it. And I do not like Ballerina Bro. I still don't like him. And I know, like,
That's a shame. He's so cute. He looks so giant.
He does. He's very cute, but he's still, I don't trust him. And he wants the man in 1408. Do we ever find out why? Is it because of what he can do?
I think so. I think he's just
useful?
Yeah.
Okay. So, speaking of the man in 1408, the woman in the bathroom turned into a baby in a giant
fetus.
Yes.
Baby.
In a giant sack.
Egg.
Yes. Giant womb. And it's a giant baby. And then he remembers this conversation that they had where he was like, you can't die because I don't think I could take care of these kids without you. And she talked about when her daughter died or her baby died. And he's like, sorry, I can't do, in the flashback, he's like, I'm sorry, I don't think I can do what you want. Which was basically like, if something happens, you kill me, I'll kill you. I don't think I could take care of these kids without you. And then, so instead of like killing her, he closes the door.
Yes. I think I remember when we were watching this episode the first time, you turned to me and you're like, is this what you thought was going to happen? Because I told you.
Oh, right. Based on Shotgun Boy and the fact that you think it's in the same universe.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, this is not what I thought was going to happen.
What do you think? What did you think? Can you tell me?
No, because it's... No.
Okay. When can you tell me? When we're done with Sweet Home?
No, it's because it's what happens in Shotgun Boy.
Oh, okay.
But even now, I can't even remember exactly what it is. So even if I wanted to, I can't.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
It's been a while since I was reading it.
And she even makes like a baby noise in there.
Yeah, it starts crying like a baby too.
So like, there was this whole discussion, I feel like, about. Oh, I think it's when. I forget her name. I know I have it written down. We'll get there. The firefighter. When she goes to her fiance's office and reads his stuff, like his notes on this occurrence, this curse. He calls it a curse. I think it's then. And he was saying how, like, it offers you something or something like that. And, like, if you give in...
You turn.
Right. So... I'm trying to, like, figure out, like, what people turn into. Is that indicative of whatever the curse is? You know what I mean? That's affecting them, like what they wanted.
Who wanted her baby.
Right. So she became, like, this giant baby. I don't know. So Min-soo is the girl who was killed outside trying to come in. The woman's daughter.
Yeah.
And her mom wants the gangster, whose name is Sang-wook, to help her go out. She's like, I heard you kill people for money. I was like, where the fuck did you hear? Like, I heard you do things for, like, what a thing. I was like, I bet she heard it from the lady with the dog because
it's true.
Yeah, it's true. I was like, how would you know that? Like, nobody knew that. Like, he literally just, like, showed up and started torturing that guy. But he pushes her out the way and he goes upstairs, right? And we don't know where he goes. So then the guy who he's after, he's still in quarantine with the shop owner, right? And the shop owner's wife comes in there and he starts berating her again and he's going to hit her. And the guy, the sus guy, stops him. Mm-hmm. I was like, stop trying to make us like you. We know you're a murderer. So then the ballerina bro sends Hyun-su to 1408 to get the man. And he tells him the kids are optional. I hate him. He seems like the type that, you know, like, he's priding himself on being like, we can't have emotions, we have to make the hard decisions, and da-da-da. Like, he's been waiting his entire life for something like this to happen, like sitting up in his room playing like role-playing games.
I feel like his sister knows that too, and that's why she doesn't quite like him.
Yeah,
you can just tell.
And then there is I don't know if I have it here in my notes. I know it happens in these two episodes when she leaves and because she's yelling at Jisoo, they're getting into it, and he tells her to back off. And she says, you're not even my real brother. And he slaps her. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing, I wonder if they're like stepbrothers, siblings. Like their parents got married or something. And then Yi-kyung, that's her name. She confronts him about what he's doing to Hyun-su, sending him out to do that stuff. And this is where we learn, though I think just the audience learns that her fiance is the one that wrote that blog post that had all that information about the curse. Okay. So, the gangster is on his way to that guy's apartment. Sang-wook is on his way to that guy's apartment, and he's attacked by this monster, but he's saved by the elderly guy and his nurse, because they're on their way down to the lobby because of that announcement, right? And there's like a journal of this man talking about, like, because it's like an apartment of like dead bodies, and he's talking about how he couldn't save his kid. And, like, it, like, snatched him out of his hand or something like that. It just reminded me of that, Ilse notebook. That, the Attack on Titan thing. Where, like, she's, like, dying, but she's, like, taking notes as she's going, like...
Yeah.
To keep a record of what happened. So they go back to the elderly guy's apartment, and... Hyun-su has like a scratch on his face, and the nurse tries to tend to it, but it starts to heal. So he's like, oh, I wouldn't have saved you if you were a monster. Get the fuck out. And Hyun-su is like, he's like, just kidding. I want to come with you.
Such a prankster, this guy.
He's like, you're fired to his nurse. Yeah, he's like, let me ride out with you. He's like, all right. So the shop owner's wife comes back, and she has a butcher knife behind her back. Like, she's going to kill him because he was sleeping, but she didn't. Like, she walked out. And it's through her that the sus guy finds out that Sang-wook went upstairs. And he pats himself down, and he realizes his keys are gone. Mm-hmm. So he pretends that he's turning. Like, doesn't he, like, hit himself in the nose? Or like, he makes his nose bleed, I think, to say that he says, I think let me out.
No, I think he puts a cut in his hand. He's like, I'm not healing. I'm not infected. Let me out.
How do you remember that?
I don't know.
I do not remember that at all.
I remember that scene.
So, Sang-wook goes up to the guy's apartment, and he finds this. I do not know why I can't think of what it's called. What is the photo developing room called?
The red room.
Is it just the red room?
The dark room?
Dark room. That's it. Thank you. It's
I remember because there's that game Life is Strange.
Yes.
One of the chapters in that game is called that.
Yes.
Because the main character was all into photography. That game messed me up. You should play it.
I can't. I used to love games like that and could like spend. I think I've not outgrown it. It's just I could not see myself playing a game like that all day. Huh? No, but like going to your room and like checking your mail and going out to this class and talking to this person and then I don't know.
It's really just like all that's optional, really.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I think it's available on the iPad, and I think I bought it, but I never played it. Maybe if I can play it on my iPad, maybe I will.
Okay.
Anyway, so he finds this dark room, and it's all these photos of his victims, and he was kidnapping, and I'm presuming molesting, but definitely killing little girls. Mm-hmm. And so there's a photo, right? And I think like in the photo, he finds this one particular photo of this little girl. I think she's holding like the keychain that he currently has.
On his keys.
Yeah, Sang-wook has, right? So I thought it was his daughter at first.
Yeah, I think we were supposed to think
that. And
someone he knows.
Hi. Okay. Sorry, I have a dog in my face, guys, so like I don't let's see, what else?
Is the thing on? The parking thing?
I don't think so.
Are we like accidentally setting it off?
Oh, no. So,
he only gets like this when it goes off.
Yeah, he gets really like
in her face and cuddly.
So Hyun-su finally makes it to 1408 and he sees the woman in the cocoon. And he's just like, okay, I guess that's just who you are now. Mm-hmm. And then somebody, I don't remember who does this, they put like this huge SOS flag, right? Like they hang it out the side of the window. Somebody. Because there's still like people in this building we haven't met, too, I feel like, right? I think we're supposed to think that.
It feels like every few episodes we meet someone.
Yeah, like, oh, who the fuck are they? Or we come across an apartment of like dead people.
Yeah.
So that's what he cuts his hand. I said pretend to turn. I get it. Mm-hmm. So I had it wrong. He was saying I'm not healing. So they let him out. And then he goes and he goes to look for the Sang-wook, but Sang-wook is already coming back because he's now confirmed what we find out later. He, suspected this guy of this particular little girl.
I don't even think it's like he was just looking for this little girl, and he knew this guy had something.
Because we find out in the next episode the dad asked him to.
Yeah. But like, he didn't realize like this was like a serial murder,
right?
So that's why he was like all frustrated because he's like, oh, you've been doing this to multiple girls, and there's like, already a bunch of girls dead because of you.
And he kills him, like brutally. They fight.
No hesitation.
No, and he got some pretty to the point where I like. The character of Sang-wook, sometimes it's almost like he's inhuman. Like, because I feel like he's taken some hits and some, you know what I mean? Like, where the gangster guy, Sang-wook, yeah.
I keep wanting to say Yakuza, but Yakuza is a Japanese term. So I'm not sure if that applies here.
Yeah, I don't know why my dog, his
butt's around the mic.
I know, and his butt's in my face. Can you go away?
Go to sleep. You're tired. I know you are.
So, what were we saying? Oh, so he kills him. And then they try to stop him, but not really because he's fucking insane and he's pulling a corpse. He takes the body outside. And I thought he was going to die. Like, he was like, this is what I came to do. I don't want to stay here with you. This is not, I'm not trying to be friends. I'm done. The world's fucked. But he goes out there and he brings back the bodies of the soldier and Min-soo. Yeah.
Which he didn't have to do?
He did not have to do that. And then he, like, collapses, right? I think.
And he tries to...
Oh, he tries to leave. And God's will makes him come back in.
And I feel like... I don't know if this was, like, in an episode before, and so we talked about it on a different podcast, or if I just mentioned it to you after watching these episodes, but he seems stronger than the gangster guy. Like, physically.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
because there's been times where he's, like, physically stopped him, and the gangster is like, what the heck?
Where's his... Does he still have his sword?
I think so.
Okay. I cannot wait to dive back into this.
He's my favorite character so far, actually. Like, he's so cool and handsome. It's like, wow.
Yeah, he's pretty handsome. Okay, so then and then the episode ends, like, they have, like, this, like, funeral, right, for...
The bodies.
Right. Where the fuck did they bury them again? Because it was, like
a indoor garden, it looked like.
So what is going on in this apartment building?
This apartment has a lot of stuff.
It's a supermarket. I'm like, what are they doing?
Convenience store.
Right? It's like, where are they getting all this dirt? Like, what are they doing? So, yeah, they do that, and I think he ends up...
Like a little green room.
Mm-hmm. And the mom tries to pay him, right? Like, giving him a necklace. She's like, this is all I have. And he refuses it. And he goes and he buries the keychain, right? And we get the details of, like, why all this happens in the next episode. But then this episode ends with we see that thing, the first monster that came in, the long head and the long tongue, eating the sus guy's body. But then this giant Titan-looking motherfucker comes up and eats that thing. Do you remember that?
I forgot completely about it until just now, yeah.
And we were like, what is this? What is this? Okay, so then the next episode, we get a flashback to September of the year 2000 when Sang-wook became a killer, right? And it turns out that he got burned on his face. Like somebody, like a guy attacked him or bullied. Something happened. The guy left him and he got burned on his face. And the guy didn't go to jail for it, right? Or he got, like, lightly punished. And Sang-wook confronted the guy in an alley and killed him after his face was all burned.
I thought he was saving someone from a fire, and that guy started the fire.
What the fuck?
I
Where'd
don't know.
you get that?
I might be thinking this because I feel like there was like a scene of him like trying to escape a fire.
Okay, I have got to like go back.
Like, someone in the fire. I don't know.
Because I remember when he approaches the guy in the alleyway, and the guy is like, because it's raining, and the guy's like, if it had been raining that day, you wouldn't be burned or some shit. It was a really fucked up thing he said. So he kills him. And then that girl's father, the missing girl's father, comes to him and hires him. And he gives him like $6. Yeah, like 6,000 won. I'm like, dude. He's like, this is all I have. And he took it.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, the money?
Yes.
Oh, no.
If you're going to do it, don't take the man's last bit of money.
Oh, well, I think even in the end, he gave it up. He buried the money.
He did bury the money. That's true. But still, like, he could have left it with that man. He needed it more than him. And then we also learned, too, he listens to a voicemail from the father. And he's sick. Remember, he's, like, coughing. He's like, I don't think I have much longer. You don't have to keep looking for her. Mm-hmm. So he died not even knowing what happened to his daughter. Let's see. Oh, then they did this thing. Remember the scene where they tricked us into thinking Jisoo had turned, but they were doing like a test?
Like a training.
Yeah. Like on if they have to like
she
catch
didn't have to have like a bloody nose and everything.
It was just too much. It was like, y'all ain't got nothing else to do.
They did that for our sake, to freak us out.
Yes. Because I'm damn sure if I was really in that situation and I agreed to be the test, I'd be like, I'm not doing all that. I'm just going to walk here and stand here. You're going to see if this neck can pick my big ass up and that's it. We're not doing all this. Okay, so then, we talked about that. Ballerina brother, he tells his sister to leave. She slaps him. They put the gangster in charge of the store now. Like, this is your business now, right? And then one of the kids, remember, what are their names? Young-su, Su-young, mm-hmm. I think I can't remember which name the boy is, but he doesn't know how to read. And that woman, the
one who lost her daughter, she is in there. She's staying in the apartment with them, right? Oh, no. Or did they come down? No.
Are they still in the apartment? No, they left.
They came down.
They came down. And she teaches him how to read.
Because they're sitting in the daycare.
Right. And she teaches him how to read. Or she's like reading to him. She was so rude about it. She was like, you don't know how to read? I was like, bitch, he's like 4. Leave him alone.
She was like, there are kids your age in Seoul who know how to read or something like that.
Yeah. When she was like mourning over her daughter, the younger girl who was like fixing people's rations, and then the lady with the dog who knows all the tea, they were like gossiping. Like the young girl's like, what should we do? Like, should we help her? She was like, leave her alone. She goes, she never talked to us anyway. She thought she was better than us. She sent her daughter to a school in Gangnam. You know, that's in Seoul, right? It's an expensive area. She's like, this wouldn't happen if she just sent her daughter to school closer. I'm like, you are a miserable bitch.
And isn't this the scene where the other girl was like, well, you don't know what it's like to lose a daughter. And she's like, I can't imagine what happened if my dog died.
Yes.
And she's like, that's different though. Yeah. And she's like, no, it's not.
Yeah, it is different. This is different. I would be devastated if something happened to my dog, but like, it's not the same as something happened to your kids. Stop it. Let's just cut that shit out right now. So we get the rules. Like, they have these new rules. There's like 3 rules that they have to abide by. The first one, and it's because this kid is learning to read, like, we kind of learn the rules, right? Because he has his name, and there's like a board. They put all the teams, because one of the rules is you have to travel in pairs. You can't be alone anymore. And so he looks up and he's like, I'm not on a team. And the old man is like, me either. He's like, we be on each other's team. So he teams up with the grandpa. So you have to travel together and report anything that you find. Everybody gets 1 meal a day. And everybody has to have their temperature checked at 8 p.m. And the nurse, the older dude's home nurse, is the one who does it. So the shop owner dies. He comes crawling out of... How did he come out? Monster. I guess they just let... Yeah. He was like Snuffleupagus. What's his name?
I don't know.
Snuffleupagus. You don't know what a Snuffleupagus
No.
is? Oh my God, what the fuck? Who raised you? Kaylee, you don't know what Snuffleupagus is?
I guess not.
Mr. Snuffleupagus?
No.
Snuffleupagus. He's on Sesame Street.
I don't remember much from Sesame Street.
Oh my God. Anyway.
Did I watch Sesame Street?
Probably not, heathen.
I was going to say, like, I don't even think I watched much Sesame Street.
I guess, yeah, that's a different generational thing. I don't guess kids today don't.
Well, I mean, I'm not a kid from today. So.
Well, I mean, even still, like, from 23 years ago, I don't know that Sesame Street was the thing. You watched other
I feel like it was, but I just wasn't into it. Because I remember seeing it on TV a few times.
I feel like you watched more, like, Zaboomafoo and other shit. But anyway.
Why I really like that.
But yeah, he comes out, like, it's just so fucking gross. And he apologizes to his wife. And she's the one who kills him. But then later she's alone, and she's like, why did you... In all the time they've been together, he never apologized to her for anything. And she's like, why did this have to be the time that you did it? That was really sad. So Hyun-su is sent out, and I don't remember why they send him out, but he gets sent out, and also Yi-kyung goes out because she's going to go to her fiance's office, like break into his office, wherever he was working, lab or whatever the hell. She gets on her motorcycle, she goes, she reads the stuff, she learns that he basically volunteered because he said, like, once you get infected, there's like a 15-day grace period or something like that. So I'm wondering if this is what Hyun-su is in, where you can like fight it, like, and he says, but once you like give in, and he's like, so that is like the time, like in that 15 days I have to like find a cure or something like that. And he basically did that, but I still don't know like where it came from. I don't know if I missed something there or if they haven't told us.
From the hospital he was working at.
So the military comes in and they grip up Yi-kyung, and she's like, you want, because they're basically like, wherever your fiance is, like, there's no way he's still alive. And they're like, you want somebody who's infected but not completely turned or cursed or whatever to study. I know exactly where a person like that is. And she's talking about Hyun-su. Meanwhile, when Hyun-su goes out, he gets gripped up. Like, I guess, I don't know what they sent him out for. I'm trying to remember if it was like supplies or, you know, because he's like the one they send to check all the apartments and stuff. And so one time he goes down into like it looks like the garage. And he's like cocooned. Do you remember that? Like he's hanging from the ceiling. There's this green slimy stuff. So they go to get him. And it's Jisoo, God's Will, Gangster?
No, I don't think he's there.
Then who else is it? And the brother?
Yeah, I think it's
and they encountered that fast thing.
With them biggest eyes.
With them gams. Them legs. Got them gams out. Ass tight. This is never skips ass day or leg day. And it's like their feet are like hooves. But they're like, it looks like they have like lava running through their veins. It's like fire. And it's just so... Ugh. And it's about to kill the ballerina bro. But somebody grabs him. I'm assuming. We don't see. I'm assuming it's a good because I think you're supposed to think something bad happened to him, but it feels like somebody grabbed him like and pulled him under the car. Like, get your ass under here. What are you doing? And then this is the thing I don't get. Like, this happened and this is how it ended. I don't understand how, like, 1 minute the guy from 1408, I have his name written down. He's just in his chair, and then the little girl comes running around the corner, and there's that monster chasing her again. And this, I think it's like crawling on the ceiling. And she runs to him, and we don't see how it played out. The very next scene is him in his chair trying to get away from the thing, and then he falls and he's crawling away and it's coming after him, and I'm like, where's the little girl? And as soon as I say that, she runs up and she's like, I just she, and I'm like, and he's like, no, get back, it's too dangerous, and she's like, I just she, and then the thing grabs her, and that's how it ends. And I'm like, what? Where'd it come from? How did you get away from her? Like, did he make it chase him instead? Like, we didn't see any of it, but it just grabbed her, and that's how it ends. They're not going to kill that little girl.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I didn't think they was going to kill that baby, even though it technically wasn't really there, and they did. It's just imagery I just think people would avoid, but I guess not. So that's it. The next two are the last two, I believe. I think.
7, 8? It's 8 episodes?
I think. I have to double check. So yeah, that is it. Thank you guys for sticking it out with us. Again, sorry that this was late, but again, we had to take a break from this, and we took a break from Money Heist and The Witcher, but we are resuming all of that this week. So next week we'll be back, Kaylee and I, to finish off Sweet Home, and we'll be making an announcement about the next foreign drama that will be replacing this in the next couple of days. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for listening. We'll talk to you next time.